Pooh so mad cause he can do it like me. Pooh stay mad cause he sippin' that tea. Pooh so mad can't get it like me. Wanna ride out with lovely. When you see me coming to the DKUs, you won't lit and you know what we're talking about. When you see me coming, step in, step out. When you see me, we gon' run our mile. It's the DKUs, that's for sure. You see me coming and I'm coming back for more. When you see me and I see you, we at the gears out. Hey y'all, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Today is pretty much a random talk, random discussion, and mainly it's just over pay attention to your children. It's just so much going on these days, and it's the holidays. I know a lot of families gonna be around, a lot of people, and the kids around. And I just want to say, just be careful because despite the fact that what you want to believe, a lot of the target is towards children because unfortunately there's some weird people out there in the world, and I just want you to be mindful. Just to check on your kids, ask them how they're doing. Is there anything that it's out the blue that you want to talk about? Because a lot of kids, when stuff happens to them, especially if they're under, and I'm specifically talking about your kids that are under 10 or under, some of these kids don't even know what it is that they're experiencing to be able to tell you. So don't be afraid to talk to your kids as early as 6 and below. You need to do it sooner than that. What certain things are, because it's just been on my mind lately just to have people talk to their children because I've heard a lot of stories from young kids. I mean, 6 and below, whether they're on social media or on TV, just talking about how they were exposed to different things. They didn't know what it was. And including myself, like, you stuff happens and you just like, what's that? Or why they do that? You see stuff. And sometimes it can be simple as a kid just reenacting something that they seen somebody else do or seen on TV, just very innocent. But at the end of the day, some of that stuff is serious, and some of that stuff can affect that child for a long time. Now, it just really saddens me that there's some sick, weird individual and people in the world. And not only do we wrestle with flesh and blood, we also wrestle with, you know, principalities and stuff like that, is what the scripture says. So with that being said, sometimes vessels are used to do their dirty work. And it's very unfortunate, it's very sad. Then you got to think back to the Tiffany Haddish situation, which I don't really know what all her situation was. I don't know who to believe because this came out years later. But it kind of brings that point. Had those kids had known what was appropriate, what was not appropriate, maybe they would have came and told their parent while it was happening instead of waiting till it was on the big screen for everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? So just because a child is young, don't feel like you can't talk to that child, because I see it too often. Kids are being targeted and people are getting, like I said, weirder and weirder. We even getting people coming in from different places and they're trying to be here at any cost by any means. And you just have to watch your kids. And I know even 2 year olds, 1 year olds, you need to let them know what's appropriate touch, because people are sick. And I guess, if it hadn't been popping up in my peripheral or me thinking about certain things, it wouldn't even like run across my mind. But kids are innocent, of course, but they are exposed to real situations at times. And sometimes they're dumbfounded. They don't know what it means if somebody, maybe even just simple as tonguing them down, like who knows, or just touching them in a way, if they've never talked about this with you, if they've never experienced it with you, how would they know it's wrong? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of different touch and stuff can feel appropriate. It doesn't necessarily have to feel bad. It could be feel innocent. So why would they feel the need to say anything? And I guess I feel a lot more to, have parents to know to do this, because some parents just let their kids go out with the family friend, the family, just because you don't think people think like that, but people do. You hear so many stories about people sleeping with their cousins, their family members. You hear stories about children saying they were molested and the parent had no idea, or sometimes even by the parent's friend or the parent's other person. Like, it's just simple stuff like that. And yeah, you don't want to ever think in a million years that people have this sick and twisted mentality. But look, we hear the story about R. Kelly, how he was allegedly groomed at a young age of 6 by someone in his family that was in the same household, allegedly, and how that affected his life afterwards. And now he's in jail for some of the stuff he's been accused of doing. But at the same time, they say when a child experiences stuff at a young age, it does alter them in a way, and sometimes it keeps them in a young state because they're just traumatized or for whatever reason. And I've had people tell me different stories, and I've heard it, and it just really breaks my heart. So just be willing to talk to your kids. I'm talking about as soon as they're able to understand, because it's some weirdos out there. And just, especially if you are putting them around certain people, no matter if they're cousins, aunties, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, daycares, people have been said that they do sick things in all these places, and it's really disturbing. I really hate that I gotta talk about it, but it is what it is, okay? And with this epidemic of all these people kissing their babies in the mouth, so let's just say somebody just randomly is around them, just kissing on them, and who knows what else. It just gets disgusting. And I just would hate to think that just because a mother or a father didn't have the time just to talk to their parents about the inappropriate things that can go on, that they miss out from letting their child know that, come talk to me about it, and a lot of times they won't talk if they think it's a family member or a friend, because they feel like, oh, we're just having fun, or they didn't mean nothing by that, so you just have to, whether it's putting on a children's show talking about certain topics about strangers, or certain things going on and how to approach you when that happens, let them know how to get in contact with you when they feel like something is going on. And it's just simple stuff like that. Now, sadly enough, I'm not a parent, well, actually I'm glad, but I'm just saying, like, it just, my heart goes out to somebody who is, because I know you're not always around your child, and it literally only takes a split second to have something go wrong. Let's just say somebody can't control their hormones for that one particular day, and they take it out on an innocent person. That happens so often. And so as you go into the holidays, just make sure that you develop a plan on how to talk to your young siblings, because guess what? They're bombarded by stimuli on the TV, on the radio. They're hearing explicit things by their friends, and they're curious, a lot of them. And with curiosity comes things that happen just through pure innocence, just to see what's this or what's that. So it's okay to talk to your kids and let them know that it's okay to talk to you. Okay? Now, if you want to be compelled to share any stories down below, feel free. I mean, it's definitely okay. But I mean, I've even heard stories about siblings, and stuff like that. So, and like I said, it can be very innocent because they're young when it happens or whatever. So you can't really hold a lot of stuff against them. They have this thing. I know when we was kids, we used to play house. I kissed a few people. I didn't think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was you kids. So at the end of the day, you just have to make sure that you just have to be alert, and you can never expect just because they don't say nothing or anything like that that everything is good. Be mindful of who you have around you, because there are some predators out there that really get with certain women just to get with their kids, which is sad, which is disgusting. There's really people out there that really target kids or the innocent. And it's really sad. And I know that goes on with elderly people sometimes as well. Now that I think about it, anything too graphic may be too much. Because even just me talking about it is just too much to think about. But, as the holidays, you're going to, just like I said, it's just going to be people around, family around, relatives around. And it just you just never know, because if a child doesn't know what they're feeling, if they don't know why they're feeling, let's just say somebody did fool with them because of whatever, then they go and fool with somebody else because they think it's normal, and then it's just a ripple effect, which is even more sad, crazy, sad, insane. You know what I'm saying? And you see, I see sometimes stuff pops in my eyes or whatever, and I'm like, is that child okay? And I be wanting to say something sometimes, because you see relatives or people around that may or may not be the relative, but you just don't know. And so you just don't want to step in, and you just be hoping that the parent will check on their child, because at the end of the day, you don't really know with foster parents, with adoptive parents, who's for who nowadays. So it's just imperative that even teachers of young children and parents just be mindful that kids are unaware. And what happens when people are unaware? They get manipulated. They're considered green, naive, and there's culprits out there who will target these individuals, just like they say older people dating younger people because they want to manipulate them. I mean, it goes on. We have to be honest. We have to be real. But other than that, I hope everybody enjoys their holidays, because it doesn't have to be that way. And most times it's not. But it's a lot of times that I'm realizing that people have experienced things. And I've experienced stuff, it's just like innocent stuff. But at the same time, I would have known what certain stuff was, what it was, because I may or may not have participated in certain things. But kids are going to explore, kids are going to be curious, and kids are going to be kids. The same thing with the going on with Royce. She had a son who was inserting his violating another child when he got mad at him. I mean, stuff like that happens. So just be mindful and never just assume that it's not going on. I'm sorry, but I gotta go right now. We come to the end, but I gotta go right now. You're still my friend, but you gotta come again. Still a long time with me, friend. Until next time, stay